Hello and welcome to a new episode of Blumensev Falck Film Talk. I'm your host, Barnaby Falck, and today we'll be talking about Kingsman, the Secret Service. Kingsman, the Secret Service is the story of a secret spy organisation that recruits an unrefined street kid into their ranks, just as a global conspiracy starts to unfold. What can I say about this film? When I came out of the cinema, I couldn't tell if this was one of the dumbest films I'd seen in a while, or one of the more intelligent. But now that I've had a few days to think about it, this is definitely one of the more intelligent films I've ever seen. Well, in a while. Anyway, the film is sort of like, it's not really a satire, but more of an homage to James Bond films. Like the Roger Moore, Sean Connery Bond films, where things just got crazy with these crazy plots and all that. Ugh. Okay, let me start from the beginning. This film, already in its first 5 minutes, it draws you in so effectively with this incredibly brutal fight scene in the first 3 minutes of this film, and then after this fight scene, it cuts to our main character, Ziggy, and the actor who plays him is just fantastic. He is such a... You know what? All the acting in this film is so amazing. Colin Firth, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Caine. God, I love some Michael Caine. But just all the acting in this film is so good. Like all these characters are so sympathetic in their own ways. Even the villains have like their funny little quirks to them that make them kind of sympathetic, and you grow to like all these characters, and also you grow to detest the characters you're supposed to detest. Just like, wow, okay. Acting, superb. The story, it sort of has two plots. This recruitment plot and the global conspiracy plot. And both kind of like intertwine together and then come together as one story. And the payoff to this plot at the end is so fantastic. Basically, it sets some little things up earlier on in the film. And it pays off so well. I cannot say anything without spoiling it because you should definitely see this film. But the payoff to the story near the end is just fantastic. So the acting is good, the story is good, the use of music, the cinematography is good, the fight scenes. Already the first fight scene in this film is really good. Like, it's not one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in my entire life, but that is saved for another fight scene near the end of the film, but I'll save that for later. So, the cinematography is amazing, the direction is amazing, the acting is amazing, the use of music is really good as well. Whoever was designing the soundtrack for this film had some pretty good ideas. The writing is also really good. This is a really classy film. If you like watching men in suits kick some ass, you will like this film. Yeah, as I said, it's sort of a spoof/homage to older James Bond films, and you can definitely tell that in the plot. That's why when I came out, I couldn't tell if it was a dumb film or a really smart film. But looking back, as I said, this is definitely a very, very smart film. Like, it pokes fun at James Bond films, but also revels in this chance to be this kind of, like, fun action film. And it is definitely a fun action film. Yeah, it's just fantastic. And two scenes I definitely wanted to talk about that sort of showcase how great this film is. One scene is a scene between Colin Firth, who plays a secret agent, and Samuel L. Jackson, who is the villain of the film. And this is not really a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. But these two characters sit down to talk to each other. And it's just sort of this, like, scene where they're talking and they sort of admit that they know, like, Samuel L. Jackson knows that Colin Firth is a secret agent. Colin Firth knows that Samuel L. Jackson is a super evil villain. And instead of outright saying it like, oh, I know that you're the secret evil villain, the evil villain's like, I know that you're not really a billionaire, you're actually a secret agent. They have this really clever setup where they sort of have a dinner together. and Samuel L. Jackson comments on the suit that Colin Firth is wearing, and he sort of says, you know, when I wanted to grow up, I wanted to be a secret agent. And Colin Firth is like, oh, when I grew up, I would have preferred to be the villain. And in this, like, clever line of dialogue, they admit to each other that they know who the other is. And it's just such a fantastic piece of writing. And then, the other scene I wanted to talk about was a spectacular, spectacular fight scene towards the middle of the film. Without spoiling anything, this is one of the greatest action scenes I have ever seen in my life. Like, hand-to-hand fighting, definitely up there. It's up there with the Crazy 88 scene from Kill Bill and the corridor scene from the original Old Boy. It's that good. The use of music, its tongue-in-cheek nature, the use of music, tongue-in-cheek nature, how everything almost just flows so well, and you see everything. Yeah, it suffers a little bit from like, modern shaky cam and stuff, but everything is clear. Like, the difference between this and, I don't know, Batman Begins or something. In Batman Begins, the fight scenes are also messy, and you cannot see anything. But in this, you see every blow, and you see how brutal it is. And this scene is hilariously gory. It is fantastically gory. I love it. But that's just me. You can see from my shirt, I like gory films. But yeah, it's such a heart-pounding scene, and you see just how trained these Kingsman agents are, first of all, and you see every hit, and you see all this gore and this carnage, and it's just... It's fantastic. I cannot go on enough about this scene, so just go watch the film. Without this scene, I would have given the film like 80 out of 100. But with this fight scene, I would give it 90 out of 100. This film, for me, I will be really surprised if this is not on my at least top 5 of this year already. Like, I think this is my favourite film of the year so far. I know it's only March, but definitely my favourite film so far of this year. I'm trying to think of something that could have been better. I saw Birdman this year, but that came out last year. I think I might prefer this to Birdman. Sorry, Daniel and Minky. I definitely prefer this to Birdman. Though comparing them isn't really something you can do because they're completely different films. Definitely one of the best action films I've seen in a while. One of the smartest films I've seen in a while. Definitely not for kids. When I went to the cinema, there were a couple of kids behind me. I don't think the oldest one could have been older than 9. This film is not for children. It is gory as hell, has nudity in it, basically a close-up of someone's vagina. Yeah, not for kids. Great action movie, smart film, one of my favourite of this year. It will definitely be in my top 5. 90 out of 100. So that was another episode of Blumenfalck Film Talk. You can find me at barnabyfalck.wordpress.com, and you can find Daniel at danielblumensev.weebly.com. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I hope you enjoyed. See you soon.